confirming we will not allow anyone on YouTube to use this outside of, CNN granting certain platforms, basically saying, you can't do this. This is unquestionably fair use. We have the two people running for the president of this country, one of them the current president, and we're going to fact check and we're going to comment and we are going to call them out in real time. If we can't do that, if no one else can, then that's severely limiting civic participation, and it's allowing a biased network that in the past has likened Trump to Hitler to control who can and cannot fact check this man. They are seeking to control that narrative. And I believe that is exactly why they reached out to YouTube and why YouTube reached out to me, because they don't want anyone to break their narrative. That's the dirty game they're playing.
All right, folks, we're almost there. The Trump-Biden debate will be taking place on CNN just 2 days from now. And I want to preview and talk about some of that here today. So if you like the content, be sure to leave a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. But unfortunately, I have to begin today by discussing the network censorship of independent media by CNN as it pertains to this debate. Because if you're familiar with political YouTube, maybe you were here for our own watch parties of the Republican debates this past year, you know that it's a pretty standard practice for political YouTubers to do their own streams in regards to the debate, right? Well, apparently this year, CNN will not be allowing that for the presidential debate. According to Tim Pool, who actually sent an email to CNN and was trying to reach out about the permissions for this and find out the information, apparently CNN is now threatening any social channels that provide commentary on the debate, stating that they will not allow the use outside of CNN. So the long story short here is CNN is not allowing other people to use the video of the debate. We can't react to it live. We can't play the clips past a certain timestamp. They want to own exclusively the intellectual property to the presidential debate. They don't want you to be able to find it on a different platform, and they want to basically be able to control the narrative around it. And that obviously sucks for content purposes, but there's a deeper reason why this is such an issue, which is, as I pointed out the first time that this debate was announced, this is the first time the presidential debates for the general election are not being hosted through the Presidential Debate Commission. Remember back to 2020, 2016, or any presidential year you can think of, the debates were streamed everywhere. CNN, Fox News, C-SPAN, ABC, CBS, PBS, every random YouTuber is out there streaming the debate and giving their own analysis and reaction to it. Well, that was because, again, these things were done through a public commission, but this is the first presidential year where we are now doing it directly through a corporate network, right? CNN now owns this debate, and they want to be able to own that video exclusively, which is highly concerning because the traditional norm is that presidential debates are within the public interest, and that's why they should be free and accessible for anyone to watch, use the clips, post the clips, whatever, is because, ironically, CNN's always talking about American democracy and how we have to protect it. Well, it's in the interest of American democracy to allow free, fair, and open use of the presidential debate, but that is not what they are doing this time around. And beyond the shallow reasons that we're not able to stream it, most likely, I'm trying to get a confirmation on that. That's the bigger picture here, is if CNN can control the clips, they can also spin any narrative of it they want. They can theoretically cut it up and say, this is what happened during the debate. But again, that's why I find this to be such a problem. It does not surprise anyone that CNN is going to have biased moderators. But the fact that they are doing this, and this is how they are handling the intellectual property in regards to the debate, in my opinion, again, very concerning. Tim Pool is not the only one who has had this experience. Saagar Enjeti, who hosts Breaking Points on YouTube, had a similar experience. He said that CNN told Breaking Points it is not allowing independent media channels to stream their presidential debate, despite granting permission to all other terrestrial news organizations. And that's something I did not point out yet, and arguably makes it even more concerning in regards to free speech and open elections, is that they are not just exclusively trying to hold the intellectual property to themselves, they are allowing the other big networks, think about Fox, ABC, CBS, etc., they're allowing them to be granted live stream access to stream the debate on their own channels. But in terms of independent media, if you're a YouTuber, if you're a minor minor online network, CNN is going to them and saying you're not allowed to do it. So it is, again, the big concern I had about putting the power and the control of these debates in the hands of the corporate networks. They are helping the other corporate networks while blocking out and gatekeeping independent media, which is not the way it should be. Whether you're a conservative YouTuber, liberal YouTuber, you're a minor network, you're just some random guy on Twitter, anyone should be able to react to, commentate, or post the clips of this debate live. But of course, that is not what is happening. So they sent this email to Saagar and Enjeti saying, "Hi, Saagar, the debate will be available on CNN's YouTube channel. We are not offering the feed for other YouTube channels." So again, there you have it.
Are effectively stifling all of independent media by banning our ability to stream the debate on YouTube. It'd be one thing if they said, no, it's all going to be on CNN.
Yeah,
but you're allowing freaking Fox News and everybody else to play this, but not us and Tim Pool show, who also reached out to CNN and got a similar response. It's total bullshit. It's an attack basically on their nascent competitors.
It is an attack on independent media. There's no other way to read it, because like you said, listen, this is part of the fallout from them going away from the Presidential Debate Commission. Now that it's like this just private agreement between the parties, they decided they could do whatever they want. And what they wanted was to allow their direct competitors in cable news to be able to stream the debate, but not us and not any other YouTube creator. So it is outrageous. It does feel like a direct attack. We're of course going to do great analysis beforehand and afterwards, but that's the reason why we will be unable to stream the actual debate on our channel, although every mainstream outlet will have access to it.
But okay, perhaps now to the slightly more entertaining part of this video. Let's talk about the moderators who are going to be hosting the debate on CNN. We know about CNN. We already explained their political bias as well as their blatant censorship. But just to give you a taste here, the debate will be moderated by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Now, Jake Tapper, the, again, fair and free debate this is going to be, has compared Trump to Hitler many times, and here is a compilation of just a few times of that, so check it out.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. Donald Trump, a couple times over the weekend, referred to immigrants from South America, Africa, and Asia. He did not mention Europe. South America, Africa, and Asia as, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, which it's not hyperbole. That does very directly echo Adolf Hitler's language before World War II. If you were to open up a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf, you would find the Nazi leader describing the mixing of non-Germans with Germans as poisoning. There's really no other way to say it. Donald Trump's language mirrors this directly.
So there you have the very honest, straightforward, neutral newsman that's going to be moderating this debate. Of course, nobody is surprised, but this is something to consider. That's what Donald Trump is going to be up against. And funnily enough, Caroline Leavitt, who is the Trump 2024 press secretary, pointed this out on CNN, saying to CNN, why are you letting one of your moderators be someone who compared one of the candidates on this stage to Hitler? I mean, that's not exactly very neutral or very fair, is it? And check it out. CNN cuts off the interview the moment that the Trump press secretary points it out.
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently,
we're going to stop this interview if you're going to keep attacking my colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate.
I mean, how much more transparent can it get? That CNN host doesn't even try to hide it. She's like, shut it down. You're not allowed to point out. Literally, the moment that the press secretary brings up, hey, Jake Tapper, the moderator of this debate, has compared Donald Trump to Hitler, shut it down. Don't talk about that. Don't insult my colleagues, and she's trying to frame it like irrelevant information. That's not what the interview is about. No, your network's going to be hosting the debate. This is the person going to be moderating the debate. It is far from irrelevant information or a distraction. It's something very important to talk about. And anyone with common sense or a brain can see that. But again, she's just trying to close that off. In many ways, again, censor this discussion, much like we talked about earlier in this video, CNN as a network is trying to do as a whole. So that's Jake Tapper. Now, on the flip side, you may be asking, who is Dana Bash? Because she, I believe, is one of the newer talking heads at CNN, wasn't around during the Trump years. You may not remember. Well, Dana Bash, similarly, is someone who said that it was unfortunate for America that the Supreme Court sided with Trump when Colorado tried removing him from the ballot. This is the moderator of Thursday's debate. Okay, the moderator of the debate, of the presidential debate for the general election, is someone who defended the fact that the Colorado Supreme Court was trying to take one of the candidates on that stage off the ballot. She doesn't even think Americans should be granted the right to vote for Donald Trump. And she's the person they picked to be the neutral, unbiased moderator for a debate that Donald Trump is involved in. Again, how much more transparent can it get?
Here's a question that I have, because it is, again, it seems like the Supreme Court is in a bubble, or perhaps it's some of the justices are in a bubble, and they're not dealing with, I mean, when they say, oh, Congress can do this, there are members of Congress, and we can go through the list, who are never going to do anything that would make life difficult for Donald Trump.
It's true. I mean, and you can go down the list of Supreme Court decisions that kicked whatever issue over across the street over to Congress, whether it is, Obamacare, which is something that the Democrats were very happy about when they did that, a little bit of a different kind of court. Voting rights, I think, is maybe the primary example of what you're saying before this. Look, unfortunately for America, the court isn't necessarily wrong that this is the way the framers wanted it to be. They wanted Congress, the people who are closest to their constituents, to be able to make the rules of the laws.
So yeah, those are the moderators that we're going to be dealing with at Thursday's debate. One of them doesn't think Trump should be eligible for the ballot and thinks it's, quote, unfortunate that that is the case. And the other one thinks that Donald Trump is akin to Hitler. Now, the one piece of good news is that I do think if the moderators are way too transparently biased against Donald Trump, it may actually help him. It may actually make him look better, because usually when Trump is in these types of positions, part of his candidacy, part of his image is saying, look, the system is rigged, the media is rigged, et cetera, et cetera. We see Trump tends to have some of his best moments when he's in that position dealing with liberal journalists. I think back to several moments in 2016 where that was true. I especially think back to the CNN town hall with Caitlin Collins that Donald Trump did just last year, where the unanimous consensus was basically Trump looked good. But yeah, with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on all of this. How do you think Thursday's debate is going to go? Do you think Donald Trump's just going to wipe the floor with Joe Biden because it's pretty easy to wipe the floor with Joe Biden? Or do you think maybe because of the CNN and all the stuff going on and all the nonsense rules around this debate, like they're going to mute the mics and all this, no live audience, do you think in some ways maybe Trump is the one walking into a trap here and CNN has something up their sleeve? Let me know. We will again try to figure out a final verdict on whether or not we can stream this or if there's a way around it. But if not, be sure to tune into our post-reaction analysis stream on Thursday night, and we'll definitely do content talking about it. But okay, until next time, be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Alpha Moves Only, God bless. Have a very great rest of your day, and peace.